Hello everybody. Today, now we'll start the session. So now we'll start the session. Today's our session is based on disinvestment in India. First, we'll discuss the disinvestment concept. Then we'll move to other related topics of the disinvestment in India. Now here, today's our session outline is based on disinvestment in India, meaning and definition. We'll understand the concept of disinvestment in Indian context. Then we'll discuss objectives of disinvestment in India. Then thirdly, we'll cover importance of disinvestment. Then we'll go to the approaches, different approaches to disinvestment from government perspective. These are also known as types of disinvestment. Types of disinvestment or disinvestment methods. Then next we'll discuss a little bit about the history of disinvestment in India so that you can understand the theoretical perspective of the disinvestment, why it is important from the practical point of view. Then current disinvestment status in India. We'll discuss the current status of disinvestment in India also. And this is basically the today's content of the session for discussion. Now first we'll start with the disinvestment concept. Now disinvestment, like first we'll discuss investment, then we'll come to the disinvestment. That will give you the better idea. Like investment refers to like if a person have money or cash in hand, the person may invest money in shares, securities, or if the businessmen having a large amount of money, they can invest in business. Okay, they can start a new business. So investing cash or money in hand, or money can be a source of loan also. After taking loan, then it is investing in a particular area. Now, in the disinvestment, what happens? Say, for example, person ABC have invested ₹10 in a particular investment process. Say, for example, person have purchased share with ₹10. Okay, or FD, fixed deposit. Person have fixed deposit. Now, after doing this, if the person think that the person will withdraw the money, or person will reduce the amount of money invested. What I said, that if the person think that person will withdraw money, okay, or liquidate the money, and person wants to reduce the invested money, then person may sell the share if it is share. Okay, or if it is fixed deposit certificate, the person can redeem the fixed deposit certificate and person may get the cash in hand again. And the person may use it for other purposes. This is basically the core concept of the disinvestment. And disinvestment is a strategic decision taken by the government. Government need to follow the disinvestment. Why? Because government have in India, government have lot of organization. Some are doing good profits like ONGC, GAIL, these companies are doing profit, but there are some companies which are not earning profit. Okay, so government wants to reduce the share from those companies, and to do that, disinvestment is the technique. Through disinvestment, government can reduce the government stake or share from these companies, and government can selling this companies share or stake to other private enterprise or to other organization. Now we'll go through the reading of this concept which I have collected from the financialexpress.com. The source is the financialexpress.com. Here it is given in elaborate manner what I have said till now, that again we will give a reading so that you can increase your reading habits also. And we are very much thankful to the financialexpress.com, and they are they have given a very good definition, and we are using for our learning purpose. Now, according to financialexpress.com, disinvestment means sale. Say disinvestment means sale, okay, or liquidation of asset. Now, what example I have given of a person that you can club here, you can use and you can understand. Disinvestment means sale or liquidation of asset by the government, usually central or state public sector enterprise, projects or other fixed asset. Okay, sale of what? Sale of public sector or state public sector enterprise, projects or other fixed asset. The government undertakes disinvestment to reduce the fiscal burden. Why government go for disinvestment? To reduce the fiscal burden on the exchequer. On the exchequer, see, there are some term I would like to clear here, like fiscal deficit. Fiscal deficit is a concept which you need to be clear. Fiscal deficit is basically the difference between the total revenue earning and total expenditure by the government. What I said, fiscal deficit refers to the total revenue earning. Total revenue earning from where? From tax or from other sources government have earning. Okay, so total earning is total government, then government have expenditure on the other end. Okay, so this difference is known as fiscal deficit. Like if government, earning from the revenue is, say for example, 10 rupees and government expenditure is 15 rupees. So fiscal deficit will be 5 rupees. Okay, so to reduce the, fiscal burden, to reduce the fiscal deficit on the exchequer. Exchequer is basically the, account. We can say current account, which the government is holding for transactions like tax collection. Okay, tax collection is the government income, and other source of income are also there. Now this tax collection comes to an account that is known as government current account, and this concept of exchequer is being very highly practiced in UK in the Bank of England. Government all expenditures happens from this current account. In India also government have accounts. Okay, and the exchequer is known as the account where incomes are deposited, and from that deposit account spendings happens. Okay, so to reduce the burden on that account. Now another things like to raise money for meeting specific needs, like if government are targeting to do special things, so government can sell public sector units which are weak or which are not generating profits, and that money can be used for a specific purpose, such as to bridge the revenue shortfall. Revenue shortfall, like fiscal deficit, I have explained. Okay, so to make up the revenue shortfall, from other regular sources. In some cases, disinvestment may be done to privatize asset. In some cases, disinvestment may be, done through the privatization process. Now, however, not all disinvestment is privatization. Again, see, we'll discuss this in detail when we go through the history of history of disinvestment in India, or approaches to disinvestment. Okay, that time we'll discuss the privatization concept again. Now, privatization does not mean the disinvestment, but the one way to disinvest may be privatization. Now, like some benefits. Now we'll discuss some benefits also. Some benefits of disinvestment are that it can helpful in the long run growth of the country. Now, through the disinvestment process, if government collect money, government generate funds, that can helpful in the long run growth of the country. It allows the government and even the company to reduce debt. Okay, to reduce the debt. Like if a company like Air India in India suffering from huge debt, so if disinvestment is done, so that debt can be reduced. Then disinvestment allow a large share of public sector units. PSU means public sector unit. Public sector unit like government undertaking companies or organizations. Disinvestment allow a large share of public sector units ownership in the open market, which in turn allows the development of a strong capital market in India. Now, see, disinvestment allow a large share of public sector units ownership in open market. Disinvestment allow public sector units ownership in the open market, which in turn allows for the development of a strong capital market in India. Like if government sells the public sector units, then private parties will be encouraged to play a vital role in the decision making of that company, and the profit of the company may increase and company may perform well. So that will be a good decision to make the economy more healthy. Next, we'll move to the main objectives of disinvestment in India. Like in India, there is some objectives for the disinvestment. Already this we have discussed. Now we'll again highlight the key objectives and we'll revise these things. Okay. Now in the main objectives of the disinvestment in India, first objective is to reduce the fiscal burden on the exchequer. See, exchequer concept I have said you. Exchequer is the current account which government are holding, and they are revenue generated from the different source by the government are being deposited for further spending. Now, this current account is having huge fiscal burden, monetary burden. So, disinvestment may reduce the fiscal burden from the exchequer, from the central government. Like central government, like see, if a person have current account or savings account, the person is responsible for the all kind of transactions, loan account also. So if the healthy transaction is there, the person will have good status and good mental mind mapping, and person will do well. But see, if the accounts are not doing well, then person mental status and overall things will not be right. So same way with the government. Government also are some people's representative. Now, if the government current account are suffering, then government will suffer. Ultimately, pressure will come on the government. So government tries to reduce the fiscal burden through disinvestment, and this is one prime objective of the disinvestment in India. Then improving public finance. improving public finance means, like government income from tax. These are known as public finance. Okay, so through disinvestment, government can improve the public finance. Like government do not have, a particular holding of the money. These are all, people's money which government uses for people's welfare. Like in the health, infrastructure, road construction, bridge, airports, okay, railroad constructions. These are public welfare related expenditure which government, contributes through the public finance. And this income is coming from the different companies' tax, then people's tax, and from other different sources. Okay, so government through disinvestment can improve the public finance also. Then encouraging private ownership. Disinvestment is also encouraging private ownership. Now, see, I will give you one example. Like in the telecom sector, we see, lot of private companies are there. BSNL is also there. Okay, so BSNL is also in the queue of disinvestment process. Government is trying to disinvest BSNL. Like government trying to sell the BSNL stake to other companies or to private parties. Now, if we take example of the telecom sector, consists of BSNL, Reliance Jio, then Vodafone, and a few more companies. Now, Reliance Jio is doing extremely well. Vodafone, Idea, they are also, Airtel is there. Okay, so they are giving, due to that competition is there. And, people are getting the benefit. Same way in the satellite television channels, same in the insurance sectors, same in the, aviation sector. Today's Indigo is, affordable and, cost-saving air service providers. Okay, and how it happened? Due to the disinvestment, privatization process, and people are getting the benefit. Now, that's why disinvestment, another objective is to encouraging private ownership of the funds. Then funding growth and development programs. Now, through disinvestment, government generate funds, and that fund government uses for further growth and development related programs. Like in India, government have lots of public welfare schemes like NREGA, then health infrastructures, then government is Janadhan Yojana, then government is in the rural area, government is giving money to construct house. Okay, even toilets. Okay, so for this public welfare related, government need to generate fund, and through the disinvestment, government generate fund, and they like Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, if need to be continued, then huge amount of money required. Okay, so through disinvestment, if government sell some public sector units which are not doing profit, and if they reinvest in further growth and development programs, that will help the economy of the country, and standard of living and welfare status of the population of the country will increase. Then maintaining and promoting competition in the market. So maintaining and promoting competition in the market, this already I have explained through the example of the telecom sector. If competition is there, due to the cutthroat competition, every company will be price conscious. They will try to give, good things with lesser price, good quality product with affordable price. Okay, and that will be helpful for the all customers or people using the product or services. Okay, so this is another main objective of the disinvestment, which basically maintain or promotes competition in the market. So these are the some objectives of the disinvestment. Okay, like reducing the financial burden on the exchequer, then improving public finance, encouraging private ownership, then funding growth and development programs, maintaining and promoting competition in the market. Now for this, slide also, or for this literature also, the source is the Financial Express. Okay, these all are given in the Financial Express. Just we are using to gather knowledge and for learning purpose. Now, the importance of the disinvestment. Next, we'll go through the importance of disinvestment. Why, there is a necessity for disinvestment. Now, the disinvestment importance lies like in financing the increasing fiscal deficit. Okay, financing the increasing fiscal deficit. Now, say fiscal deficit term I have already explained. So, to finance that increasing fiscal deficit, government need to go for disinvestment process, or government need to adopt disinvestment and need to be executed. Now, fiscal deficit, again, I am just repeating, fiscal deficit is basically the difference between the total revenue earning and total expenditure. Okay, now, fiscal deficit is increasing. Now, through the disinvestment, if government generate funds, and that may help that may reduce the fiscal deficit of the government. Then financing large-scale infrastructure development. Now, it is also important to finance the large-scale infrastructure development. Now, government is developing infrastructure like I said, constructing a railroad, then road construction, bridge, flyovers, then airports. So, government, if generate fund through disinvestment process, that fund can be reutilized for large-scale infrastructure development. Okay, then for investing in the economy to encourage spending. For investing in the economy to encourage spending. Now, like this is also another, very, very important why government need to go for disinvestment. Now, government can invest in the economy, which will encourage spending, people spending. Okay, like say, during COVID-19, government have, given huge financial package to the different industries. Now, if government push money, and that money ultimately will came to the, people's hand. Okay, and through this, spending or expenditure will increase, and that will increase the consumption. And if consumption increase, then GDP will increase. Okay, GDP will increase, and that will accelerate the economic growth. Then another is for reducing government debt. This is for reducing the government debt. Government also have huge debt burden. So government can reduce the debt burden through the disinvestment process, and it is one reason why disinvestment is necessary. Like there is a statistic, almost 40 to 45% of the center's revenue received go towards repaying the public debt or interest. Like see, government takes loan from the World Bank, International Monetary Fund, then from other countries. From countries also, different countries also, government are taking loans for different project like metro project, metro railway project. Okay, then for other big projects, government are taking loans. So repaying the public debts is very important, and disinvestment also helps in repaying the public debts, and this is one reason why disinvestment is important. Now, for social program like health and education, see, this is also I say, through the disinvestment, all of you know that government can generate fund, and that fund can be reutilized in the health infrastructure and in the education infrastructure development. Now, the primary school, then secondary school, higher secondary school condition, to certain extent are not, good, like water supply facility, then sanitary facilities, and then classroom, benches, then electricity. So through this, government can improve the health infrastructure as well as the education infrastructure, at the remote village level, like up to the subdivision level, district level, in the district hospitals, technology-oriented machineries can be adapted so that improved health service can be provided to the rural people. Okay, so for social program also, disinvestment is important. Now this information I have accessed from the www.bsepsu.com. Okay, and we are also thankful to them. They have highlighted the importance of disinvestment in a very good way, and this we are using only for learning and knowledge gathering purpose and for circulation as a resource material. Then next is approaches to disinvestment. Approaches to disinvestment, government perspective. Government perspective means from government point of view, we'll discuss the approaches to disinvestment. And this is also known as types of the disinvestment. Types of disinvestment or methods of disinvestment. Okay, approaches are also known as types of disinvestment or methods of disinvestment. And this we are discussing from the government's point of view. Okay, so there are three approaches in the disinvestment process. These three approaches are minority disinvestment, majority disinvestment, and complete disinvestment. Okay, what I said, how many approaches to disinvestment are there? How many approaches to disinvestment? Three disinvestment approach, or three types of disinvestment, or three methods of disinvestment. Okay, now first we will discuss the minority disinvestment. In the minority disinvestment, what happens? Government retain a very small stake and sell the remaining stake to the other parties, to the private parties or to other companies. Okay, it can be public sector unit also. Government sale or release the responsibility from government undertaking to other parties. And in the minority, government holds a small stake and release the rest to the other parties. Now, example of the minority disinvestment are like Power Grid Corporation of India Limited, then Rural Electrification Corporation Limited, NTPC, then NHPC Limited, etc. These companies, minority disinvestment already been carried out by the government of India. Okay, then majority disinvestment. In the majority disinvestment, government sell the majority of the stake to the private parties. And examples are like BRPL, MRL to Indian Oil Corporation, and KRL to BPCL. Then complete disinvestment. Complete disinvestment is basically the looking for complete sale of the stake, like 100% share or stake being sold to other companies or to private parties. Now, example of the complete disinvestment includes 18 hotels, properties of Indian Tourism Development Corporation, ITDC. ITDC's 18 hotel properties are being completely disinvest. Completely disinvest means government will sell the 100% stake and government will not have any ownership with this company. This is known as complete disinvestment. Now, for this also, we have gone through the, one website, and the details are like growth in www.growin. From this, I have access and retrieved the information, and we are using it for the learning and knowledge gathering purpose, and to share it as a learning resource. Then, history of disinvestment in India. In the history of disinvestment in India, now I'll give you the brief detail of the history of disinvestment in India. Like disinvestment in India started in 1992 under the Prime Ministership of P.V. Narasimha Rao. Okay, then from since that time, gradually, privatization, liberation, globalization happened in the Indian economy. Actually, government during the year 1992, 1991, 92 have adopted the economic liberalization, privatization, and globalization policy. And with that concept, in India, disinvestment also already started. And since that time, gradually, lot of companies are being, disinvest through, different methods. Now, there are some, example of the disinvestment in India, like Bharat Aluminium Company, Belco, and Hindustan Zinc, both to Satellite Industries Limited. Now, Belco and Hindustan Zinc were disinvest to Satellite Industries Limited by Government of India. Then, Indian Petrochemical Corporation Limited, Indian Petrochemicals Corporation Limited to Reliance Industry Limited. Okay, so Reliance Industry have purchased the Indian Petrochemicals Corporation Limited from Government of India. Then BSNL to Tata Group. BSNL Videsh Sansar Nigam Limited. Okay, this was a Government of India undertaking enterprise, and government have sell it to the Tata Group. So these are some unique example of the disinvestment in India. And disinvestment is a continuous process in India. Since 1992, this is happening continuously. Like in between the companies also, like ONGC, SPCL, there are some, stake sharing was there, like jointly it is happening. Then government have targets of the disinvestment also. Now, this information also I have collected, exist, and retrieved from grow.in. And we are using this for learning and knowledge gathering purpose, and to circulate the information through different media as a resource, a learning resource. Then, current disinvestment status in India. Now, in the current disinvestment status in India, like if we say the current status, presently government is aggressive in doing disinvestment process, and these companies are in the pipeline for disinvestment. Now, I mentioned the company's name. interim finance minister Piyush Goyal, under his leadership, these companies are in the pipeline, and this you can say the current status of the disinvestment picture in India. Now, I mentioned the company's name, like General Insurance Corporation of India Limited and New India Assurance Company Limited. These are offer for sale. Okay, this company are on offer for sale. Okay, you will see that when you come to the city, okay, this company's signboard you can see. Okay, so these are a government of India undertaking. Now government are trying to sell these companies. Then disinvestment in MSTC Limited through initial public offering, through IPO. See, initial public offering also you need to understand. Initial public offering is basically, it's a government will offer, to sell share. Okay, through the initial public offering, like government will sell the share of this company to the public, and if public purchase the share of this company, and they will be the stakeholder of the company, shareholder of the company. Okay, like IPO, when company release in the market, any person can apply with a valid PAN card. Okay, then when IPO are being allotted, like a company have, this is a different area. We'll go through that in a different class. But to make you understand that what is IPO, this is, when company are going to distribute the company's stake to the public. So this is basically the way how company can reduce their stake and distributing it to the public and earning money. Now, third, strategic disinvestment of 100% government holding in Central Electronics Limited. Government is looking for strategic disinvestment of 100%, means complete disinvestment, holding in Central Electronics Limited. Then strategic disinvestment of Bridge and Roof Limited. Then disinvestment in Northeastern Electric Power Corporation Limited through IPO. Then disinvestment in Bharat Electronics Limited through offer for sale. Okay, see, somewhere government is trying to sell through IPO, and somewhere it is completely available for sale. Then disinvestment in NBCC Limited and APCO through offer for sale. Then sale of Air India and 5 of its subsidiaries. So these are basically the current companies which are in the pipeline for disinvestment through different methods, through different techniques. Now this information source are grow.in. Like say, you can read more from this website. If you access this websites, then you can read in detail. And we are taking the reference help of this website for learning and knowledge gathering purpose, and it may be circulated as a learning resource through different media. Then, summary. Now, before going to the summary, again, I'll go through one part. This part. For this part, I'll go through just we are visiting the website to give you the technique how this is being collected. Like say this, I have given the URL from the slide prepared for this session, and we are visiting that particular URL, and their information is given. Now see types of disinvestment methods in India, or approaches. Now minority disinvestment. Like minority disinvestment in public sector unit is such that at the end of it, if the government of India retains a majority stake, typically more than 51% in the company, it ensures management control. Now see, in the minority disinvestment, just I am rectifying something due to the hurriness, that's why I am using the old side again. I said, just reverse. So I am correcting the information and making it clear to all of you. See, minority disinvestment, refers to the process of retaining a majority stake with the government. Typically, it may be more than 51%. Okay, government will have the major shareholder. Okay, and government will sell small part of it to the other parties. What is minority disinvestment process? It refers that government will retain the majority stake, and typically it can be more than 51%, and government will give a minimum sale to the other minimum stake to the other companies. Like 60% stake maybe with the government, and 40% government have sale to other parties. Okay, so this is basically the minority disinvestment, where government of India retains a majority stake. Government of India retains a majority stake. Okay, and generally it may be more than 51%. Then you can go through the other details. That majority disinvestment. In the majority disinvestment, what happens? Like the government of India retains a minority stake in the company. It sells a majority stake. Okay, in the majority disinvestment, what happens? The government of India retains a minority stake. In the majority disinvestment, government of India holds a minority stake and sale of a majority stake. Sale of a majority stake. Now here, like example we have gone through, like BRL, BRPL or MRL to Indian Oil Corporation and KRL to BPCL. These are the example of the majority disinvestment, happened in India. And this majority disinvestment is known as strategic disinvestment. Okay, in the current status of the Indian disinvestment, we have seen strategic disinvestment. Okay, so strategic disinvestment is the process where government of India retains a majority stake in the company, and government sale of a majority stake. Okay, then complete disinvestment or privatization is a form of majority disinvestment wherein 100% control of the company is passed on to a buyer. That is, government of India completely disinvest from the public sector unit. Example includes 18 hotel properties of Indian Tourism Development Corporation. Now again, we'll go through the summary of these three types of disinvestment methods or process. In the minority disinvestment, what happens? Government of India retains a majority stake. Government of India keep majority stake with them, and it may be generally more than 51%, and sell the other stake to the private parties. Okay, minority stake government sell to other parties. Then in the majority disinvestment, what happens? Government of India retains a minority stake. Government of India retains a minority stake or shares in the company, and it sells of majority stake to the other parties. This is known as, strategic disinvestment. And complete disinvestment is selling the 100% stake to the other parties. Now again, we'll go through the slide. Now we are coming to the summary of this session. Now from this session, through this session, we have discussed disinvestment in India, meaning and definition, then objectives of disinvestment in India, importance of disinvestment, approaches to disinvestments from the government perspective, history of disinvestment. Here I have given the just brief summary of the disinvestment in India, and link is given in that particular slide. And if you want to do the detailed study, you can go through it, and you can gather more knowledge regarding the current disinvestment status in India. Also, just I have given the a summary of the status now presently India is having. So if you want to gather more knowledge, you can go through the link, and you can gather more knowledge and information. Now, like for today's session, I have collected all the information from the different websites, and I'm very much thankful to them. They have shared this information, which are very much helpful for learning and knowledge gathering. And hopefully, this lecture session may be distributed through different media as a learning resource. And through this, their websites promotion will also take place, that we are learning from their websites. And thank you everybody for attending this session.
Thank you, sir.
For next session, we'll have another topic. Possibly in the next session, we'll discuss foreign direct investment.